Today's video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. I've been trying to plan a bunch of themed videos recently, like back in the old days of this YouTube channel, but I don't know, I feel like they're all half-baked. I get to a certain point and I just can't break through that wall. So today I was like, you know what, let's just sit down, keep things casual and talk about a bunch of stuff I've been loving recently, whether it's trends, small businesses, content creators, just stuff in fashion that's been inspiring me. I can already tell this video is gonna have like no structure to it, but I have to start with this first because I've been dying to show you it ever since I first thrifted it a couple of weeks ago. This freaking apple apron. Are you actually kidding me? I feel like you can never really go wrong with a fruit motif, and as you probably know, I have been banging on about aprons for like the last year at this point. Just such a cute, fun layering opportunity, but truly just could not be more stoked with this find. It came after many empty-handed thrift store trips. I was ready to give up on my regulars, but Selfo's pulled through with this little gem. It was in the vintage section, which was like, oh God, it's gonna be priced up a fortune, but it was only $8 when I got it to the counter. They were like, oh, this one's half price, $4 today. The fact that the very same store could be charging you $30 for something from Target, insane to me. As a Nana girly, I am a sucker for strawberries typically, but I've been getting so much like apple themed content. I don't know if it's just since thrifting this, I've opened my eyes to that, or I was already being influenced prior to finding this. I'm kind of surprised that this didn't pop up more when the Charlie XCX dance was trending last year. But to be fair, the styling definitely isn't giving brat for this. Most of the ones that I'm seeing at least have a very twee influence to it. I don't know, something about the apple is just giving kindergarten teacher. And I wouldn't say this is a micro trend in terms of it being something super specific and short-lived, but more like a niche trend, I guess. I'm seeing apples, a lot of piano and musical motifs, and then also the deer print that we were kind of seeing more at the end of last year. It's one of those things that if it's circulating in your pocket of the internet, it feels like the biggest trend of the season, but then if you take a step back, you're like, oh, actually not that many people are referencing this. But yeah, let me know what you guys think on these more niche trends and what sort of longevity they truly have. Something that is guaranteed to always be a constant in my life though is keeping myself safe and secure online. I've been doing that for years with today's video sponsor, award-winning VPN Surfshark. Surfshark is a virtual private network available to download now as an app or browser extension. Whether you're at home or out and about using public Wi-Fi, you really don't know what's lurking in the background. But with Surfshark, your personal data becomes encrypted, anonymous, and secure in their private VPN tunnel, which prevents scammers from accessing sensitive information and companies and bots from tracking your every move. And of course, with a couple of quick and easy clicks, you can also unlock content from around the world that's not usually available in your region. And all of this applies to unlimited devices under just one account. And it just keeps getting better because not only can you try it all risk-free thanks to their 30-day money-back guarantee, but you can also score an exclusive deal by heading over to surfshark.com/spotlight. At the moment, they're offering 4 extra months for free. You can scan the QR code on screen, or as always, check out the description box for more links and information. Something that has always been evident on this channel is my love for theme dressing. I always point the finger at growing up as a Bratz kid because obviously they always had a concept. As I got older, I fell in love with Drag Race, the runways, always have.
Category is.
But I really feel like we're seeing a return of that more in the mainstream as well. And I feel like that definitely coincides with the return of the pop girlies like Chapel Roan. We're definitely seeing that crossover into fashion as well, with Pinterest Predicts article referencing things like Castlecore, Rococo Revival, and Dolled Up, which is giving very Polly Pocket. One that I specifically cannot get out of my head though is from the XG concert. She's doing a Gwen Stefani cover and the look is very much giving like adaptation editorial of Alice in Wonderland, and I just could not be more obsessed. Actually, I feel like in general, Alice in Wonderland has always been for the fashion girlies. Like I said, I'm struggling just to get dressed, period. So I'm not necessarily partaking in this, but I'm just having so much fun seeing the creativity and admiring everyone else. One of my favorite content creators on TikTok at the moment is Candy Brat. I just love that freedom and playful energy she always brings to her styling. She also has some of my favorite Grail designer pieces, so I'm always just watching in awe. I'm also really enjoying more like curation sort of accounts. One that comes to mind is Archive over on Instagram, just spotlighting a bunch of different cool photo shoots, runways, collections. Let me know if you have any other recommendations for accounts like this. I really want to fill my feed with that rather than just like general fit check, because I think it really helps me with my comparison issues. And actually The Sweet Bitter is an account that I have followed and loved for years who used to post this sort of content, but now is a fully fledged fashion label of their own. And oh my goodness, their pieces are amazing. No, like literally every single piece I'm just in love with. And I think it is because I followed them for so long. We had so many of the same like inspiration and references, and I can see that in their final products. And it's just been really cool to watch, especially seeing bigger creators get on TikTok and shout them out as well. Unfortunately, not currently in a position to be able to afford it, but I will definitely continue to support. I particularly love the little shirts. They're just so sweet. I have this one, which I thrifted last year, which is kind of similar. In an ideal world, it would have like a rounder sort of collar to it, but the baby yellow shade is pretty much spot on, and seemingly this is going to continue to be a big color this season. Honestly, I'm just loving all the different color combinations we've been seeing recently, and for me personally, I'm really trying to break out of that comfort zone of always pairing something back with either black or white. So today I took inspiration from the baby yellow gray color combo, and then I love when they add like a pop of baby blue as well. I'm on the hunt for this particular shade of tights. I don't know, this blue is seemingly kind of hard to find though. Everything is just a bit too bright. Since I couldn't get my hands on them for the pop of color, I decided to go with the same crochet piece that I'm wearing at the moment. My mum actually kindly made this for me after we saw a post on Rednote. It's like a little sailor collar situation, and the original was long enough to tie a bow in the front, but since we thrifted this yarn, we just didn't have enough to make it work. Honestly, what's really out of my comfort zone in this fit though is the shorts. I've just never really been a shorts person. It's giving very Goldilocks, like the jorts just weren't working for me. The micro shorts weren't working for me, but I have had these little pinstripe kind of like tailored shorts in my wardrobe for years and years and literally have never worn them. I think I'm just not used to it. So I'm convinced that shorts just do not work on me, but I don't know, I feel like this might be enough to change my mind. Okay, I know I'm a little bit late to the party on this one, but Ray's outfit in the Rebel Heart music video, the instant I saw it, I knew I had to try and recreate it. It's just so girly pop. It's kind of Mikako coded, or just like an Ayazawa character in general. I didn't really have any of the same pieces other than the pink sweater vest, but I do have a giant wardrobe and a dream, so I think we kind of made do. Obviously, I had to change out the blue for green just because this was the only jacket I had that had somewhat of a similar silhouette, and I've actually been meaning to style this more, so this was perfect timing. I wasn't sure if I should switch out the accessories because her going for the black I feel like makes more sense since her hair kind of ties it all together. It's really making me miss my K-pop styling videos, but honestly it's just been a hot minute since I've seen something in a music video and gone, yes, instantly I need to be wearing that. Like mentally, I'm still back defending Red Velvet Birthday with my life. If we're lucky, I've come forward in time to chill kill. Actually, no, I need to give a shout out to that one girl from Kiki's haircut because I am so in love. You already know I'm all about a little plaited rat's tail moment, but hers, perfection, no notes. Okay, this one is just random and I think potentially quite niche because it's actually from an Australian film that came out in 2005. I had completely forgotten about this. I don't even remember how I randomly stumbled across this image, but it unlocked a core memory within me. But look at this and tell me that it is not my two personal styles together in one image. I always say to Sam, does it look like I've walked straight out of 2005? And if the answer is no, then it is just not giving what it needs to give. And I feel like this just totally solidified that for me. With that being said, I don't know if it is just the burnout screaming for some more simplicity, but I'm also really enjoying the more basic layering that we used to see back then. Very much Disney Channel coded where you might just be wearing 3 tank tops at a time for some reason. Obviously, we've already been about dress over pants for quite some time now. I'm also seeing a lot of t-shirt over long sleeves, which in my brain is giving very Seth Cohen, which I feel like cringily they would have referred to as geek chic back then. Even without the layering, we're seeing a lot of polos and that like rugby shirt sort of style. I don't know, it's just felt like the sweet spot for me lately. Getting dressed was starting to feel like this mammoth task for some reason, but this, it's still manageable, but I'm still adding that extra layer, so I do still feel like myself. When I first started this channel, this would have been one of my favorite times of year. Fashion week, recapping the shows, trend analysis, looking at street style, but I don't know, somewhere along the line, I just kind of fell out of love with that. I still like keeping an eye out for creative street style, and show-wise, I usually check in on some of my favorites, like Sandy Liang or Tripova Loana, and often there'll be a couple of random looks that catch my eye, and I'm like, ooh. But so far, nothing's really grabbed me to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna catalog that in the database that I will continue to reference for years to come. For example, Blue Girl collections from 04, 05, 06, like that is my style. I'm constantly pulling up those photos. And actually with the 20-year trend cycle, it can be really fun to look back at shows from 2005 and see the similarities. When I started saving photos and taking notes for this, I was like, okay, it's getting a little bit out of hand. I think that this should actually be an entire video on its own, which I think I am going to go ahead with, but today I think we have to talk about Dior because whether it is fall, spring, or couture collections from that era, all are so relevant today. I love these stripy knits, the oversized Baker Boy hats. I feel like Baker Boy hats are really having a moment again, and the star of the show has to be these boots. Like, are you kidding me? The spring show, again, we have the fun hats, but just fun in general, whether it's colorful tights, trinket accessories, micro shorts, which have been the absolute staple for festival season here over summer. And then the couture show really brings in that Rococo revival that I was referencing earlier, which I don't know about you, but I feel like the hair is what actually plays the most important role in that, which is why it feels so unachievable to me. And then this is very fantasy, whimsical, almost giving me Wicked. But yeah, I'm really curious if there's any runway collections that just live rent-free in your head. I have quite the long list going already, but I'd love to add a few more to it before filming. I don't know if it's because I'm still going down my Blythe doll rabbit hole or because I recently rewatched Kamikaze Girls, which now that I'm thinking about it, I believe also came out in 2005, but I love admiring her Lolita wardrobe in that. I believe she's like completely styled in Baby the Stars Shine Bright, which is definitely a favorite search of mine on Mercari, but I am yet to pull the trigger. However, I did recently thrift this dress. Such a beautiful dress. This neckline is absolutely stunning. I think I wouldn't typically reach for it just because the length is kind of like that awkward in between. It's originally from the Australian brand Kitten D'Amour, but I don't know, I feel like it has so much potential to be styled in a more Lolita inspired way, which I know that as a subculture there are quite a few rules to adhere to, but yeah, definitely heavy on the inspired by. I'm not confident that I currently have the right sort of items to make this work, but we'll see what I can come up with in my own sort of style. But if you guys are part of the scene and have any tips for beginners, please let me know because I feel like it is quite intimidating to get involved with. Other things I've been looking out for at the thrift recently are a pair of sailor pants. I don't like my chances with this, but I came across a pair when I was in Korea and unfortunately they just weren't in my size, but I've been thinking about them ever since. I feel like it would be pretty safe to categorize myself as an accessories girl, at the very least a hat person, but when it comes to jewelry specifically, I've never really had a huge collection. There's usually a couple of go-to pieces that I wear to death to the point where I'm kind of sick of it now and I'm feeling in a funk and need a revamp, and I don't know what direction to go in. Like I said, the op shops are coming up empty-handed. I found a couple of pieces that I love on Taobao, but they're from brands that aren't part of the Australian shipping, unfortunately. And I love the unique collection that Big Girl Treasure Chest has curated over on TikTok. I'm not even really a gold girly per se, but her collection is insane. The main things I'm looking for are some bracelets, some long layered necklaces is what I've been craving, and then also some rings. Let me know if there's any places you love. I've seen some people recommend Gemini Jewels. And then I'm also really keen to do a charm bracelet with Get Charmed by Winnie. She does a bunch of local markets here in Brisbane. And actually one jewelry piece that I was very, very excited to get my hands on was the Swarovski Monchichi necklaces. I really like how the pendant attaches to the chain. I ended up getting 3, the frog, the bunny, and the panda. These are just the most adorable thing. I am forever thankful to Monchichi's #1 stan over on TikTok, the ultimate influencer, but there are a couple of other content creators that I have been really enjoying recently over there as well. But yeah, I think that's about all the inspo I wanted to chat about today. Hopefully we can keep the conversation going in the comments. It's always interesting to see where people are pulling their references from. And also, before you go, do not forget to check out today's video sponsor, award-winning VPN Surfshark. All those links are down below in the description box for you, and hopefully I'll be seeing you again really, really soon. Bye!